Just to give you a bit of an interesting perspective on Switzerland being a country of the Reformation, I was driving to a missions conference there a while ago and I saw a shooting range. Notice the road, we're driving past this road and I see a shooting range and I thought, goodness me, where do the people shoot from? I said, is that a pistol range? I said, no, it's a rifle range. A rifle range? Where do the people shoot from? The other side of the valley. The other side of the valley. People are shooting over habitations, cows grazing in the fields, and cars and motorbikers driving on the main road. Our people are good shots, they said. Well, I'm sure they are, but where in the world would you have a shooting range going across a public area? But in Switzerland, every Saturday the hills are alive with the sound of gunfire. And there's a Reformation reason for this. Because if you want peace, you prepare for war. I was in the home of a missionary and I saw a young man on the other side of the table and I said, are you in the army? And he laughed and said, of course, we all are. Switzerland doesn't have an army, Switzerland is an army. I said, I believe you can get ready for war quickly. He said, I think so. I said, how long would it take you? He said, I don't know. I said, well, let me time you. And he said, now. And I said, no. And he got up and within 5 minutes and 22 seconds, back fully kitted out, ready for war. Now that's an average Swiss family. The whole family got excited, and so his sister brought out another machine gun, and other members of the family brought out their rifles and bayonets. And you can see the First World War bayonet I'm holding, the Second World War one, and then you've got the Cold War, and now the more recent, and a sword just thrown in for good measure. The postage stamps in Switzerland show what the national sport is, shooting. It's not just clocks and cheese and chocolates that they make in Switzerland, it's rifles. And they love their rifles. And I've shot with Swiss rifles, and let me tell you, precision. Precision, the best you can ever expect. Sniper's rifles like you could only imagine. And this is why they would have shooting ranges in the middle of valleys, because land is precious over there. They can't afford to waste their space. This is a nice shooting range where it's not going across somebody's thoroughfare. And on the weekends, you can see, as in the Sound of Music, the hills are alive with the sound of gunfire. Every Saturday, this is the national sport. You expect it to go shooting. And all boys must serve in the army, of course. But a girl doesn't have to. But if she wants to shoot, the government will give her a gun and hundreds of rounds of ammunition every month free. Because shooting is a patriotic activity. It's what makes you Swiss, is to be a good shot. And so the children learn to shoot at school. They start with air rifles and they work their way up to all the big things, ready from primary school, because shooting is part of the curriculum, because they want everyone in the country to know how to handle firearms safely. And not only that, Switzerland wins in international shooting competitions. It's a matter of honor and pride. They not only must have the best chocolates and cheese and clocks, they've got to have the best shots as well. And so when you go around town, you can sort of see why they have very low levels of crime in the country, because they aim to please. In fact, many people's homes have got pop-up spots where they can, they've got their own shooting ranges. The people take their shooting very seriously. In town, you can just snap a picture of this, or you can see in the museums. You're driving down the road and you'll see they're preparing for war, they're training, they've got all kinds of interesting things. You know, they say the only difference between men and boys is the price of their toys. And boys love playing with big things like this. You know, this is great. And of course, hiking, forced marches, alpine. They not only have an army that looks good, but they have an army that can fight well. That's why nobody wants to invade Switzerland, not even the First and Second World War when everyone was getting invaded, because they fight too well. They're sharpshooters on skis. And they have got their mountains filled with underground shelters. Do you know that they can put the entire population, 114% of their population, in underground nuclear bomb-proof shelters with 10 years supply of food and all kinds of goodies, right down to swimming pools and you name it, in the Alps, and landing pads in the Alps, in the mountains, for the aircraft behind nuclear bomb-proof shelters. This is a country prepared for anything and armed. And the women who do want to shoot travel around a lot with their firearms. And I don't know if you see this around here much, but you can see why Switzerland is free.